Hi, my name is Liz Ritteman. I'm with 9 Health Fair, and this is our regular Tuesday show, Health Happens, and we talk about it because health is happening everywhere, all around us, all the time. And this time of year, one of the biggest health concerns we have is around the flu. So joining me today is Kim Ward, a licensed pharmacist with King Soopers. If you have questions about flu shots, feel free to join the conversation. I've got my phone here, and so I'll be looking for your questions, and we will try to answer them. And if we don't know the answer, we'll look it up and we'll get back to you. So yeah, please join the conversation with your questions about flu shots. Kim, why is it that we have a flu season? Why do we only worry about the flu this time of year?
Sure. So flu season we typically think of in the fall when it starts to get cooler outside. That reminds us it's our time to get our flu shot. Influenza illness itself actually peaks November through March is when we see the majority of the illness, the hospitalizations, and then unfortunately the deaths. So the CDC recommends we all get our flu shot before the end of October. In the last few years, vaccine has been available earlier and earlier, which is wonderful because then we can get protected soon. So that's why we think fall.
Okay, so but there's not such a thing as too early then, is there?
Sure. So it's not too early to get your flu shot, even though it's been very warm in Denver. It doesn't feel like flu season yet, but it's not. The CDC says to get your flu shot as soon as it's available, because remember, it takes 2 weeks to kick in. So you want to get that vaccine, make sure your body builds immunity before people start getting sick around you.
Okay, and again, for those of you who are just joining us, we are talking about flu shots. It is getting to be flu season, and so you want to make sure that you're vaccinated before flu season starts. And Kim, how effective is the flu shot?
Sure. So the flu shot varies each year. Obviously, it's a virus and it mutates and it changes. So the CDC does their best to guess what the circulating viruses are going to be and build the shot. So it varies each year. But what I always tell my patients is getting the flu shot is more effective than not getting the flu shot.
Right.
You're more protected against the strains that are in the vaccine, and also there's usually some immunity against any strains if it changes a little bit. So getting your flu shot is always more effective than not.
Right. So that's very interesting that there are all these different strains of flu out there. How is it, do you know how they decide what strain is going to be the strain?
Sure. So the CDC tracks, what we saw last year and then also what we're seeing this year, specifically in the Southern Hemisphere. They're experiencing flu before us, so we always watch what's going on in Australia and then the Southern Hemisphere to build what may be coming our way.
Okay, that's really interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And again, if you guys have questions about flu shots, feel free to join the conversation. I'll be watching for your questions right here. We'd love to have you participate. And then what are the potential side effects with flu shots, and how many people actually experience those?
Sure. So side effects from the flu shot, as far as severe side effects, are very rare. We would expect that you would have a sore arm for a day or two. Swelling or redness around the injection site would be common as well. And then remember, it's not a live vaccine, but your body is mounting an immune response to that antibody. So you may have a low-grade fever, you may have a headache, you may just feel a little under the weather for a day, but majority of people that get it, they have a little sore arm, they forget what it's from, and they move on with their daily lives without slowing down.
Yeah, so not a lot of people actually experience that. Is that kind of, I've heard out there that, you get the flu shot, or you get the flu from the flu shot. Is that where that comes from, just because that side effect maybe?
Could be from the side effect. That's my favorite question or myth to dispel when people say, I'm never going to get the flu shot because last time I got the flu. It's really not possible because it's not a live vaccine, but you can feel those side effects of being under the weather. And again, it takes 2 weeks to kick in. So if you wait too long to get your flu shot and you're exposed to influenza around the time that you get your shot, it's not going to have time to build that immunity to protect you. So you may have already been exposed to the flu, and that's why you get the flu.
Is that, there are some shots where they ask you before you get it, do you feel sick today? Are you experiencing symptoms? Is the flu shot kind of one of those shots where if you come in and you already are feeling sick, maybe you don't get it that day?
So we do ask that question, how are you feeling today, when we're screening for any vaccine that we would provide. But the general school of wisdom is if you are well enough to walk into the pharmacy, you're well enough to get a flu shot, because again, it's an inactivated vaccine, and we want to get you protected.
Okay, all right. And so again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the flu shot. If you have questions about flu shots, if there are things that you want to know, like, hey, is this true, is this not, feel free to leave us a question. We'll read your questions. What are the pros and cons of getting a flu shot?
Sure. So the pros of getting a flu shot is you're protected against influenza. If you've ever had influenza, because we may confuse the common cold with the flu. If you have influenza, you will be the sickest you've ever felt for 5 to 10 days. It's really not a pleasant disease, and the very young and the very old, under 5 and over 65, are at a higher likelihood to be hospitalized and have severe illness from influenza. So the con is that you will get very sick if you don't get it. So, and then we talked about the side effects of getting the flu vaccine. Those
and so really
soreness.
those side effects might be the only cons
Yes.
of getting it. Okay, and so you mentioned the very young and the very old. Are those people who should definitely get it? Are those the ones who are most at need?
Sure. So the CDC says anyone 6 months and older, everyone 6 months and older should get their flu shot. And it's to protect everyone around us with some herd immunity, because infants under under 6 months can't get the vaccine. And that's where a lot of the hospitalizations and unfortunately several deaths a year happen in infants. And then the very old, as we age, over 65 in general, our immune system is weaker. So we may not respond to a vaccine as well. We actually have a newer vaccine within the last few years called the high-dose flu shot that's intended for seniors 65 plus, because it gives us an extra boost to help protect seniors against influenza.
Okay, well that's good. And so then if you're going to be around small children, especially infants, you probably really do want to make sure you get your flu shot. So,
Absolutely. Yes, protect those around you. It's not just about you. You may say, oh, I'm healthy, I never get sick, I've never taken a sick day, but think about those around you that you could pass it to.
Right. And let's talk about what's in a flu shot, because I think there's a lot of misinformation out there about what's actually in the shot that you're receiving. Can you share with us a little bit about what's in there?
What's in the flu shot? Sure. So I think a lot of the concerns come from maybe the preservative. So these days the vaccines are all pre-filled syringes. They have no preservative. As far as the strains of flu, there is a trivalent vaccine that has 3 strains of influenza, 2 strains of A, 1 strain of B. There's a quadrivalent vaccine with 4 strains, 2A, 2B. And remember, we said the CDC is doing their best to figure out what is going to circulate this year. So the idea with the quad covering more strains, and then that high dose for seniors having an extra boost of antigen to give them a better response.
Okay, all right. And so again, we're talking flu shots. Feel free to join the conversation. Ask your questions. We'll read them here. There's a lot of information out there about flu shots. Not all of it's true. What are the key facts that people should know about the flu shot?
Should know about the flu shot. We've covered a lot of those today already. If you're 6 months and older, you need to get a flu shot. Protect yourself and those around you and your family. You may have a sore arm, redness, swelling, maybe a little headache, but otherwise the side effects are very minimal. Access to flu shots is easier than ever. You can get them at your doctor's office, at a walk-in clinic. You can also get them at any King Super City Market pharmacy, as easy as walking up to the counter. So access has really improved. And now is the time. The CDC recommends we all get immunized before the end of October, before we see that spike in illness, because we need that 2 weeks to build immunity.
Yes, and so we should say, we are going to have flu shots offered at the majority of the 9 health fairs, and our 9 health fair season starts this fall. We actually have our first fair Saturday at Lamar Street Event Center, which is a really amazing place if you've never been there. Way cool. I went there the other day. They have, I'm not usually like a cars and motorcycle kind of person, but they have all these like classic cars and like brand new like really flashy cars, and they have motorcycles. It's really cool. It's the whole, it's something completely different than I've ever seen us have a health fair at. But again, it's a place where you can go, you can get a flu shot. You can also go to our website, 9healthfair.org, and you can search for fairs by your location and find a fair near you and get your flu shot. And it's really great because at the health fairs, not only can you get a flu shot, but you can get all the health screenings. So you can get all this stuff that you need in one place.
Yes.
It's really nice.
Convenient access to wellness.
Yes, absolutely. So make sure you go to our website, 9healthfair.org, and find a fair near you. So what else besides the flu shot can people do to stay healthy?
Sure. So we've talked a lot about the flu shot during flu season and all year long. It's important to remember the basic, public health tips that we can do. So washing our hands and making sure we're not spreading disease. If you don't feel well, stay home. And if your children are sick, keep them home so we don't spread illness. And then there's other vaccine preventable illnesses that we can vaccinate you for. So the Tdap booster with tetanus and pertussis or whooping cough. At our pharmacies, we can provide the shingles vaccine. We can provide the pneumococcal vaccine. So there's other vaccines you need, and pharmacists, same as your healthcare provider, will screen you for those additional vaccines. That way, when you're here to get your flu shot, we can get you caught up on anything else that you need to stay well.
Yeah, so just Do it all in one stop?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So, after hearing all of this about the flu shot, I feel pretty safe and good about getting a flu shot, and I want to encourage you to get a flu shot as well. So I'm actually going to let Kim give me a flu shot right now so you guys can see that it's okay. I'm kind of a big baby about pain and things like that, but the flu shot actually really isn't that bad. And so Kim is going to give me a flu shot, and hopefully it will encourage you to come to a 9 Health Fair, get a flu shot, and check out some of the other screenings.
All right, Liz. So, as we prepare here, have you had a flu shot before?
Not in a year.
Okay. But any side effects or problems in the past?
Nope.
Excellent. Okay. So, I've got our Bugs Bunny Band-Aid ready to go here. So just relax your arm. It's best when you're nice and loose. That's it. Bugs Bunny for the road.
That was quick. That was so quick. That did not hurt at all. Again, I'm a big baby. That did not hurt. So.
Well, and thank you, Liz, for getting your flu shot. At King Soopers and City Market, we have a one shot, one meal promise. So every flu shot that we give, we will donate one meal to Feeding America. So thank you, Liz, for donating a meal.
Oh, well, I'm very happy to do that. See, now you can feel really good about getting your flu shot. So, all right, great. Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us. Sure. And again, if you have questions, you can feel free to leave them in our Facebook feed. Even after this is over, we'll get back to you with answers. So thanks for joining us. And don't forget, our 9 Health Fair season starts this Saturday. Go to 9healthfair.org, find a fair near you, and get your flu shot. Thank you.